You know, it's like, what are power structures there for? Well, they're there to serve the purposes of the elite. It's like, no, that's one of their purposes. You know, and that monomania, that insane desire for singular causes, to me, that's also the expression of an archetype. It's monotheism in action. It's like, you know, so you see these people who claim to be atheistic, they just invent a new god. Foucault did that with power. Freud did that with sex. You know, if you're smart too, you can take a major motivational drive or system, they're not really drives, they're really personalities. You can take a major motivational personality like power or sex, and you can explain everything on its basis, because every human action is motivated by the major motivational system, some admixture of them. And then if you're smart enough, you can always figure out a way that some complex phenomena is related causally to some simpler motivation. But it's intellectual masturbation, as far as I'm concerned. It's not the attempt to explain something. It's the attempt to reduce everything to one simple principle that you can be master of. Now, so you know, was religion for crowd control? Well, it's just that's an empty theory. Well, so this is what, a multi-generational conspiracy. That's what it is. It's a conspiracy that stretches as far back into the past as we can imagine, right back to where people were tribal, and maybe farther back than that. I mean, that's not an explanation. And the other one, the supernatural explanation, well, you know, there are people who think they think scientifically, but they don't, because they're not very good at it. And then there are people who think scientifically at a genius level. It's like, well, there are people who think they think religiously, but don't. And then there are people who think religiously at a genius level. And you can't assume that you can use the same motivational explanation at every single level of analysis. So, yes, there are elements of religious belief that are superstitious. Although, you know, that's kind of a sleight of hand too, because if you want to argue that religion is only superstition, you collect up all the superstitions, you define them as religious, and then you define religion as a collection of superstitions. So, you know, it's not very careful articulation of the whole class of phenomena that are attempting to be, that people are attempting to explain. And there's also a big difference between explaining and explaining away.